Commission on LGBTQ plus affairs at 4:26 p.m. on Wednesday, July 31st, 2024. Welcome, everyone. I am going to read the commission purpose to start out. This is from Chapter 369 of Hawaiʻi Revised Statutes. It says, the legislature finds that there is a need to establish a body to improve the state's interface with members of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer plus community. Identity, the short and long range needs of its members, and ensure that there is an effective means of researching, planning, and advocating for the equity of this population in all aspects of state government. Accordingly, the purpose of this chapter is to establish a commission to provide for a statewide program on a permanent and continuing basis on the status of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer plus individuals in Hawaii. Okay, we're going to do our introduction and roll call. I guess I'll do the roll call since we don't really have the infrastructure to do this properly. So Dr. Sandy Harjo-Livingston, President Pro Tem, is here. We need to appoint a Secretary Pro Tem that will only be dealing with taking notes and recording things for this meeting. So who would like to do that? Rick, thank you. I was hoping you would volunteer. So we're going to have Richard Velasquez, who will be our Secretary Pro Tem for this meeting. Our LGBTQ plus commissioners, we have 8 voting members. Myself, Dr. Sandy Harjo-Livingston. We have Kathleen O'Dell, Michael Golojuch, sorry.
It's Michael Golojuch Jr.
I always butcher your name. Apologies for that. Shanda Lewis, Richard Velasquez, Philip Steinbacher, Joe Tolbe, and Joseph Rocco Vick. We have 6 Ex-Officio officers that are in attendance, and they are non-voting members. We have the Superintendent of Education designee, Beth Schimmelfennig. Did I get that right? Thank you. Director of the Department of Education, Civil Rights and Compliance Office. We have President of the University of Hawaii System designee, Dr. Camaron Miyamoto. Director, Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer Center at Mānoa. We have Director of Labor and Industrial Relations, Jude Butay. We have Director of Human Resources Development, Brenna Hashimoto. Director of Human Services designee, Christine Takushi. Cross-Enrollment Coordinator, Director of Health Designee, Thaddeus Pham, MPH, Viral Hepatitis Prevention Coordinator, Harm Reduction Services Branch. And then we have our members of the public and those who are online, attending online.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Can we point out that several of the commissioners are attending by Zoom?
Yes. So our 2 commissioners that are attending via Zoom is Joe Tolbe and Philip Steinbacher. The other 6 are in the room. Okay. So we comment on receipt of written testimony. I'm guessing there hasn't been any written testimony submitted. Okay. And we don't have anything to review for that. Okay. Member introductions. So we have the opportunity for the community to share their concerns with public testimony, and you have 2 minutes to do this. So is there anyone who would like to provide public testimony? Yes. You may approach the microphone.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Carolyn Martinez-Golojuch, and I'm the president of Rainbow Family 808. And I have a challenge for you. 40% of the homeless youth that we serve are LGBTIA+, and I want you to help me get them the services they need from some of our elected officials that continue to put their head in the sand. So that's my challenge to this illustrious board. Okay? And I will give you my card before you leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Golojuch.
No.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, let's move on to commissioners sharing their priorities, and we can start with Rick Velasquez and move down the line.
Well, thank you. My name is Rick Velasquez. I'm a social worker and have made Hawaii my home for the past 32 years. My priority as a commissioner on this inaugural commission is going to be to work to establish a vehicle for the LGBTQ plus community to interact with policymakers and to serve as a conduit of information to and from stakeholders and elected officials. I believe we can best do this by developing a well thought out system of protocols and procedures that will allow for an inclusive and respectful dialogue for years to come, and that we represent to the best of our ability, our local ohana. I know we'll be faced with a very fluid and dynamic environment in today's political state, and must be flexible and seek to build partnerships with all stakeholders. Mahalo for this opportunity. That's it.
Thank you, Rick.
You're welcome.
Rocco, Vick.
Aloha, everybody. I'm Rocco Vick from Kona on the Big Island. I'm one of the co-directors and co-founders of Kona Pride. This is our 5th year, and I'm also an LGBTQ bar owner. So I have had a lot of time with the community on our island, and I feel like some of the things that are forgotten about on our outer islands would be helpful to get a little bit of attention on some of these outer islands. Even during one of my interviews with one of the senators, he wasn't even aware that there were prides on other islands. So that would be something that I feel like the state could do a little bit better, shining some light on all of our celebrations throughout the year. But also, I do feel like, the smaller health centers that are LGBTQ focused, ours is Kumukahi on our island, receive actually very little funding when it comes to, they receive funding for preventative, which is really nice, but when it comes to actual medical care, and a lot of the people that are looking for gender affirming care are offloaded onto these smaller clinics, and they don't have the ability to serve that population when they're receiving 3 or 4 referrals a week. That can become really overwhelming for small offices. So that would be something that I feel like our outer islands could really use some help, and I think that this commission could help bring light to that.
Thank you, Rocco. Michael Golojuch.
Michael Golojuch Jr., my pronouns are he, him. Before I start, I would like to take this opportunity to take some space for those that are no longer with us that brought us to here, from Bayard Rustin to Marsha P. Johnson, and everyone that stood up at the Stonewall Uprising, from Harvey Milk to Martin Rice to Miha Reyes, Bill Woods, that we sit here today or stand here today on their shoulders as we move this, as we're here to move this needle forward. My priorities are vast because I bring 24 years of civil rights activism here in the state. I grew up on the Leeward Coast. I am a St. Louis alumni, but I am proud of the work that I've had the opportunity to be part of over the last 24 years. And so as we move forward, we need to lower the barriers for the LGBTQ plus community to access state services. We need to make sure that we do address our homeless unaccompanied minors. We do have to address access to gender affirming care. We do have to address access to mental health care and mental health professionals, especially on our outer islands, with people being turned away just because they happen to be a member of this community. There are so many other things that we have to do. We've made huge strides, but that was one of the reasons that former Representative, now Director Yamane, when he and I talked about this commission in 2019, the formation of this, is that there's still so much left to be done. Marriage was a great momentous thing, but there are still so many people that need help, that need to have access and have their voices heard. And so that with everybody here, this isn't just about us commissioners, it's also about lifting up the voices of the great work that's already being done in our community and making sure that we are there to help them, make sure their voices are heard at the state level and the county levels. And as we move forward, making sure that we have a seat at those tables. So, because if you're not on the table, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So I encourage everybody out there in Team Land, as it is today, to let us know what you would like to hear from you, what you want us to focus on, because there are things that we don't know and we're not going to know, and that you are the experts in that area. So, so those are just a handful of some of my priorities as we move this commission forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Kat O'Dell.
Hi, Dr. Kat O'Dell here, and I'm an instructor at the University of Hawaiʻi at Mānoa in Human Development and Family Studies. My areas of interest and research are around early childhood education, family engagement, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. I am also the network coordinator for our Hawaii Ohana Support Network, which supports the work of both school and community-based family resource centers throughout the state. Prior to being at UH, I was with the Department of Education for a number of years and have had a lot of direct contact with our students and our teachers, and I have an understanding of what lack of support we have in our school system for our LGBTQ kids and their families, and that's something that I'd like to elevate in this work. We have wonderful resources and incredibly talented people working with harm reduction, Department of Health, but when you look at our DOE website and when you start to take a look at what support is and is not there, you see that that is an area of growth for us within our Department of Education. And when we speak about students who are LGBTQ and ending up homeless, if we had more support in our schools, if we had more supports for the families, we would be able to assist with that as well. So that's something I'm going to elevate in the work, the need for support for our children and our families in our education system here.
Thank you, Kat. Shanda Lewis.
My name is Shanda Lewis. I am a nurse practitioner and my pronouns are she, her. I work for Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center as a primary care healthcare provider, and I'm a leader in our LGBTQ plus healthcare provision. My passion is LGBTQ plus health, especially transgender care. So my priorities focus quite a bit on healthcare and providing evidence-based information for our state to make good decisions and helping our community. And I'm the designee for the sexual and gender minority work group for the state. My priority is especially Kapuna and Keiki. I really want to focus on how we can keep our kids safe and supported regardless of their sexual orientation or their gender or lack thereof. Of course, I want to ensure compassionate and appropriate treatment of our transgender folks on the island. And one of the things that I'm especially interested in, obviously suicide prevention, and like I said, Kapuna, I want to speak for Kapuna who are unable to speak for themselves. So for example, in hospitals and in nursing homes and after death, I don't want people to be misgendered because they're unable to speak for themselves, and I hope that our commission is going to be able to find a way to coordinate with the community to increase awareness of this. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shanda. Philip Steinbacher.
Aloha, my name is Philip Steinbacher. I'm the commissioner from Kauai. I've lived here for 19 years with my husband, and my career, I'm self-employed now, but my career was focused primarily in arts and entertainment, and then as a teacher. I was a teacher in public and private schools in a number of states. The entire time I've lived here in Hawaii, I've been a teacher until recently. My focus, I think because of the work that I've done in schools, again, public and private schools, and I've worked with students from kindergarten all the way through high school, is, my primary focus is safety and really the growth and development of LGBTQ plus kids. I helped to found a GLSEN, which is Gay, Lesbian, Straight Educators Network group in another state when I lived before I moved here. I also have founded a number of GSAs, which are Gay Straight Alliance clubs in high schools here, 2 different high schools here on Kauai. I work pretty closely with LGBTQ plus youth, and I hear firsthand from them because I'm a volunteer and not a teacher or not administrator in a school. I think I hear things that they might not share with some of the other adults that they work with. So I have a great deal of concern about things and the environments and the safety of those kids. Even though things, seem to be improving overall, I still think there's much more work that we can do. I also volunteer as a crisis counselor with the Trevor Project. So I am working directly with LGBTQ plus kids who have suicidal ideation or, unfortunately, go the full length and take their own lives. So I have a lot of exposure and to the troubles of being an LGBTQ plus kid. As I was, and in some ways it may even be worse now, I think, because of social media and the political climate. So I have a lot of concern about all the things that everybody's mentioned so far. I care very much about those things, but I think predominantly I would want to support and recommend legislation or policy that will address still how difficult it is to be an adolescent and to be growing up in an environment that isn't always, embracing and compassionate. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip.
Before we move on, can Commissioner Steinbacher identify whether or not there are any adults in the room with him since he's participating remotely?
Oh, no, I'm by myself.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Joe Tolbe.
Tolbe, hi. I'm the commissioner here on Maui. I'm also here by myself in my apartment. Let's see. Several things that I am interested in have already been brought up by several of you already. I think Mrs. Golojuch was the first one about the kids. And, since the fires that happened here almost a year ago, coming up on the 8th, I've worried about where have all the kids gone who are in the closet? What happened to them? Because I know they were out there in Lahaina. And so I'm worrying, how are they living right now? Where are they? Where are they hiding? Who are they with? Are they safe? And that's one of the things I think I'd like to be a part of, as far as having a venue here, a safe place for them to come and hang out and know that they're going to be safe and taken care of and not being fun and not being put down on who they are and where they come from and their backgrounds. They've already been through a lot of hurt already. And the other thing is also, like Rocco, bringing light to our island of Maui. We have yet to have a parade here. And what I've been doing on my Facebook, I've been putting out events that happen on Kauai with their parades, helping out Philip there. I've also put out the word that Kona needs help if they have big businesses or organizations that they want to help with Rocco, to get involved with him and showing up. So yeah, I'd like to, now that I'm on the commission, to hopefully we can have our own upcoming parade sometime next year. We've just had the largest turnout for the street festival that we just had here last month, which was a huge turnout. I mean, for Maui, it was historic as far as the people who showed up: gays, lesbians, straights, allies. Everybody was, and we had a great time. So I'd like to see more of that happen, but not just the fun part, to be able to be there for kids, especially to come in and have a safe place to be. When I lived in San Francisco, I came out in 1969, about 1 or 2 weeks after the Stonewall riots. And then I lived in San Francisco for 18 years before moving back here. I've been back on Maui now, maybe going on 40 years. One of the things I really liked about when I lived in San Francisco, I was involved with an organization called CUAV that stood for Community United Against Violence. And as an openly gay Asian man at that time, I was involved and invited to several organizations and groups. I got invited to all the high schools in the Bay Area, the colleges and universities, and got to speak as an openly gay Asian man about my lifestyle, my coming out, my family, what I did for work. And there were times like I'd be out in the city at a restaurant, a coffee shop, wherever, and kids would come up to me and stop me and said, "Hey, you're the guy that came to our school and spoke to us. Thank you so much." You know, to have a face that they could relate to, I mean, that always felt so good, you know. And yeah, and there was one time that I thought I was going to be in trouble. I got on the bus and 4 guys, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and one or 5. And then one came and sat next to me. And I thought, oh no. And then the guy who was sitting next to me turned his head and said, "Hey, you're that guy, right?" I said, "The what guy?" He said, "You came to our school." And he was, you know, really rough and hard and solid. And I was like, uh-oh. And then the one in front of me turned around and he said, "Yeah, you're the guy. We saw you, thought, hey, there's that guy who came to our class." It's like, it totally turned around the energy. I thought that I was, you know, might have been jumped up or I don't know what, but it just became a positive instead of a negative. So that's what I'd like to see here. Now that I'm back home, I'd like to, and I'm going this coming Friday with Kathleen, I think, who invited me to go to one of the schools here and to have that kind of the space where I can go or be invited to organizations or groups or schools, and they can see there's a gay man here. It's not just me out there or on this island. You know, we can all live happy, healthy lives. So just cutting my time short here so I can have everybody else speak as well. But that's where I'm coming from. And thank you for letting me represent Maui.
Thank you, Joe. For myself, I guess it's my turn. I am Native American and Pacific Islander. I grew up in the South, and so as soon as I went to college for undergrad, I have spent my entire life trying to find some place safe to live, some place where I didn't feel like I needed to hide, some place where I saw people who were like me, and just not afraid of the politics that were going to crush me. And so I've been here in Hawaii for about 10 years. I came out here because I came to visit, and it was honestly one of the first places I've ever felt safe. And so what I want to do with my tenure here is to work with the commission and to work with our legislators to ensure that we're able to protect our laws here in the state from federal intrusion. So anything that we create that protects our community, we are able to combat any kind of federal legislation or federal decisions from courts that would infringe on our safety and our rights. So that is my goal as a commissioner. Okay. Now, for our ex-officio designees, you each have 30 minutes. Would you like to speak? I'm sorry, 3 minutes. Excuse me. I'm also dyslexic, so. Okay, so 3 minutes.
Okay, that's better.
Right, and we can start with Dr. Camaron Miyamoto.
Aloha. I'm Dr. Camaron Mikio Jimenez Miyamoto. My pronouns are he, him, his. And I'm honored to be the designee from President of the University of Hawaii System, where I work as the director of the LGBTQ+ Center for UH Manoa. I've been doing that for 22 years, and I started advocating for LGBTQ+ equality here in Hawaii in 1994. To first work with marriage equality, successfully passing that, and then passing statewide protections for anti-harassment. Right now, we have a lot of serious issues to address in Hawaii: healthcare, housing, employment, but with me as a representative from the university, I really want to prioritize education because we are in a state of emergency for LGBTQ+ and Mahu young people and students. And I really want to use this opportunity to work together as an ex-officio member with our commissioners and our community to build infrastructure within the DOE and the University of Hawaii system to support the needs and well-being and success of our LGBTQ plus and Mahu students. I believe that in doing so, we will directly and indirectly address issues such as houselessness, chemical addiction, sex assault and gender-based violence, harassment, and the well-being of students. So those are my priorities, and I look forward to working together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Miyamoto. Excuse me, Kristen.
Hi, I'm Kristen Takushi from the Department of Human Services. I look forward to working with the commission here and so how the department can support the commission. From the beginning. Hi, I'm Kristen Takushi from the Department of Human Services. I am the cross enrollment coordinator. I look forward to working with the commission on how the department can help in any ways with bringing services to youth or elderly, or how we can bring any services to help,
There's a little. One more time. The little push button. Yeah.
One more time from the beginning. Kristen Takushi from Department of Human Services. I look forward to working with the commission on how the department can bring forward any of your guys' priorities, any way that we can help, whether it's Medicaid, it's child welfare, SNAP eligibility, anything like that. So I'm here with open ears and at your guys' will to help you guys out in any way.
Thank you. Okay, let's hear from Beth.
Hi, I'm Beth Schimmelfennig. I'm the Director for Civil Rights Compliance for the Department of Education. And with me, I have, as a guest, Nicole Iijima. She's our Title IX specialist within the department. We're looking forward to working with you and updating our guidance and support for children K-12 in the Department of Education and also our employees. So I am grateful that I am representing the superintendent in this effort.
Thank you, Beth. Let's move on to Jade Butay.
Hello, I'm David Rodriguez with the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations. I happen to be the designee for Director Jade Butay. I am the state's Equal Opportunity Officer, and though I authored the department's non-discrimination plan, my jurisdiction as the state's Equal Opportunity Officer is with the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. So the department and those that receive these federal workforce dollars are within my jurisdiction. I hope to help and serve you well.
Thank you. All right, next we have Brenna Hashimoto. Nope, okay.
Hi. Hi, I'm actually Signy Nakamura de Reza. I'm Brenna Hashimoto's designee. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the administrator for the Equal Employment Opportunity Office, which promotes and coordinates, and also we advise on technical guidance to the executive branch departments under DHER's jurisdiction. So looking forward to working with the commission on best ways we can support LGBTQ plus applicants for state positions and employees as well. Very happy to be here with you all. Thanks.
Thank you. Let's see, just do Kristen. Thaddeus Pham.
Aloha everyone, Thaddeus Pham, he, him. I'm the designee for Director Kenny Fink of the Department of Health. I'm so honored to be here with you all today. I think, folks already shared many of the health issues that we see in our communities, both and along the the life spectrum from our keiki all the way to our kupuna, so I won't echo that. I will just note some of the things that have come up when we engage in our community coalitions, especially our sexual and gender minority work group. One is that Director Kenny Fink did in 2023 issue a public statement on the importance of transgender rights as a public health priority. So I wanted to note that. And so all health issues related for the needs of our gender diverse communities is especially important. I would also note the importance of data collection. Increasingly, we're getting requests from our partner departments and other state agencies on how to collect and use data for better supporting our local communities who are sexual and gender minorities. So I'll note that as an important priority as well. And then finally, I'll note that everything is everything. Everything that folks noted, everything comes back to health. So whether it's housing, education, all these important priorities do affect people's health. And so I'll echo that and just acknowledge that we're happy to work with you on all those aspects because we know health is everything. So thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to be moving on to new business. We have our community cares or concerns, public testimony. Do we have anyone in the public who would like to provide testimony? Yes, go right ahead. You have 2 minutes.
Can I clarify if you're talking to me?
Yeah, you have to recognize him.
Oh, apologies. What is your name?
Jeff Esmond.
Jeff Esmond, thank you.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. My name is Jeff Esmond, and I'm here by myself in the room. I'm interested in your commission. I myself am on the Hawaii State Commission on Fatherhood, and I'm not sure if I'm the first gay commissioner, but I'm certainly the first openly gay commissioner on the Commission on Fatherhood. And I'm also currently the chair for the last 2 years. I ended up on the Commission on Fatherhood because I am a dad of 3 kids. I wanted to congratulate all of you. Very excited for this commission and for what you guys have in front of you. This is a big deal. You've been confirmed by the state Senate, so I hope that you will all be putting a good faith effort. Just based on my experience on my commission, I would ask you guys to think about the statute and the purpose and how this is different from any other organization you may be involved, and think about how to get from your concerns that you've all shared earlier, and there are many of them which are all equally important, but how are you going to focus on them, and then how are you going to actually put them into action and make them real? Wanted to let you know that you are representing the DHS, just like our commission. And also I wanted to give a few shout outs to some of the people on the meeting today. Lily Young is your sunshine monitor, and she's a tremendous resource. She's very helpful, and she helps keep us all legal, so to speak. Malia with DHS is also incredibly helpful. Kristen is a huge resource, and she is your main go-to person at DHS, so you will be, especially the chair, will be in touch with her a lot. You guys, your team is off to a great start. You have a full roster of commissioners and ex-officios. We don't have either one. So I can't tell you how great that is. Also, we're in the process of bringing in a full-time employee for staff, which is going to be 50% for you folks and 50% for us. That's a big deal because after 21 years for the Commission on Fatherhood, we've never had anybody. It's a really big deal. Couple last comments. I'm also on the Uniform Parentage Act Task Force representing the Commission on Fatherhood. There's a couple of other people on here that are on the task force. And I noticed on the state calendar, you may want to have it corrected from LBGTQ to LGBTQ to match the actual title of the commission. And then finally, a note off to Rocco, please save your physical boarding pass because it's hard to get a reimbursement otherwise. That's all I can say is that the finance office is very tough. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. I'm very excited for you all.
Thank you, Jeff. And we have someone else with their hand raised. What's your name?
Aloha, my name is Tulsa Lobendon, and I am the committee clerk for Senator San Buenaventura. I was tasked with coming in. If you've seen me before, I'm going to be hitting all the Board of Commissions up, but I'm extremely excited to be on this one because I am a very proud member of the community. And I have been out since middle school, and I am married to the love of my life, my wife. We've been together for 13 years. So I'm extremely excited to be on this commission and be able to assist Senator San Buenaventura with any additional items. I would like to say I was with DOE for 12 years, and I definitely would think that having students voice, not just asking them, but actually having them be a part of these meetings or these commissions would be very beneficial. They are our future, and they have amazing ideas. So I highly encourage not just polling them and asking them what they want, but actually having them be a part of these meetings because they will bring so much knowledge. So I just wanted to say that, and thank you all for having me.
Thank you. Joe Wilson?
Thank you very much. My name is Joe Wilson. I'm currently co-directing something called the Lei Pua'ala Queer Histories of Hawaiʻi project. And I'm just really inspired to hear all of the different ideas that are kind of being populated today, because I think this is a real exciting beginning. And the thing that I wanted to kind of put out there and perhaps look for other community advocates and or commission members to think about is how we as a community might begin to put together a plan or a proposal for Hawaii considering and passing something that 7 other states have done, a bill that is often called something like a Fairness in Education Act, which would provide for, I mean, so many of the issues that have been raised today relate to education and public health and things, and obviously well-being is essential. And understanding one's own place in one's community, historically as well as contemporaneously, is extremely important for those things. So I'm happy to see representatives from the Department of Education here, and we would really like to start to put some brain power into how we do this in the context of Hawaii and create ways in which our students can learn about LGBTQ Mahu histories here in Hawaii. So we'll look forward to thinking about ways to follow up on that with this commission.
Thank you, Joe. And did Dean want to speak? I see you still have a hand up.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyone else?
Joe speaks for us. I didn't mean to have a hand up.
Thank you, Dean.
You're welcome.
Okay, no one else. We are going to discuss and decide making on the chairperson duties. So we need to discuss that. Who would like to start?
Commissioner, permission to speak?
Yes, Joe. I'm sorry, not Joe. I was thinking Joe Wilson. Michael, yes.
To move this along, I move that the chairperson, for the time being in charge of preparing the agenda, maintaining the mailing list, preparing the meeting packets, and dealing with any incoming inquiries for this commission. And that we can address other duties at a future meeting.
All right, any other discussion points?
When I Googled, oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, Richard.
Thank you. When I looked up what the state list as under, if you look up what the state says, it says exactly what Michael said, thank you. It's leading meetings, setting agendas, ensuring that activities align with its goals and legal requirements, encourage productive discussions, acting as spokesperson for the commission, representing its decisions and position to the public and government officials and stakeholders, and overseeing the preparation of reports, records, and compliance with state laws and regulations. So it seems like they had a little fray, but Michael hit on most of them.
Yeah, those are pretty standard when it comes to a chair as well. So, all right, any other discussion points? Okay, well, what we need now are some nominations for our chair.
Chair, we need a vote on the motion.
Oh, I thought we
For
were
the-
going to do that together.
No, for the
Okay.
duties.
This
Do
is
them two
Deputy
separately.
Attorney
Okay.
General
So
Erin
how do you
Lau.
want
Can you hear me?
to do the motion?
Can anyone hear me?
So what we'll do, I was thinking we were doing the requirements as well as the person at the same time, but we'll do the requirements first, then the person. So let's take a vote on this. We've got to very quickly put this out,
Awesome.
leading meetings, agenda, mailing list, inquiries, legal requirements, being a spokesperson.
Sandy.
Yes.
Sorry, Erin has her hand raised. I don't know if you folks can hear her.
Oh, no, I did not see that. Aaron.
This is Deputy Attorney General Erin Lau. You need a second on that motion before you vote. So my understanding is that you kind of discussed it already. There is a motion on the floor to include everything we had said. You need a second, and then you will vote. You would go into voting.
Right. We have not taken a first just yet. I'm going down this just so that we make sure we have everything. So I'll start over. Leading meetings, agenda creation, mailing list, inquiries, legal requirements, spokesperson, representative stakeholders, compliance. And so I need a motion to accept these.
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Richard. And now we can vote on this. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. So we have the responsibilities for the chair taken care of. Now what we
Chair,
need.
just a sec. I'm sorry. Would you mind just noting for the record if everyone had responded in the affirmative? And if you had noticed anyone who had not voted, please ask for abstentions, because abstentions are counted as negative.
Did
as
we
a
have
nay.
any abstentions? No, I didn't think so. Yeah, I didn't see any. Okay, so everyone, it's unanimous. The ayes have it. And so now
Thank you.
need a person for chair. Nominations, please.
I'd like to nominate. I'd like
Okay.
to nominate
Go right ahead,
Kathleen.
Richard. Kathleen O'Dell is our first nominee. Who is our second?
I'll nominate myself.
Michael? Okay. Anyone else? All right. All those in favor of, all those in favor of Kathleen, say aye.
You need I'm sorry, Chair, you need a second on that motion.
Oh.
Oh, well, I didn't even do the first motion. Okay, so apologies. It's been a long day. All right, let's have a motion to accept Kathleen O'Dell and Michael Golojuch. I cannot get the emphasis right on your name.
It's Golojuch, like hello you, Golojuch.
Oh, just like
Golojuch.
Okay, Golojuch.
Thank you.
All right, so Kathleen O'Dell and Michael Golojuch, may I have a motion to accept them?
Move to accept.
Thank you, Richard. May I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Shanda. All right. All those in favor of Kathleen, raise your hand. All right, we have Shanda, Sandy, Kathleen, Rocco, Rick, Joe in favor of Kathleen. All those in favor of Michael. We have Michael, and where's Philip?
Abstaining.
You're abstaining, okay. Philip is abstaining from this vote, so we have one for Michael, and so Kathleen has it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. All right. Our next is going to be nominee and elect. Okay, we got the chairperson, discussion of other positions for commission governance and the duties associated with those positions, including but not limited to vice chairperson, secretary, and finance director. Okay, so we're going to go down these. First of all, we need to decide which positions we want to have. And are we going to go with vice chair, secretary, and finance director? Are y'all happy with those three additions? All right, may I have a motion to accept these three?
I move to accept.
Thank you, Kathleen. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Richard. I don't think we need a vote for that one. Okay, so our vice chair. May I have some nominations?
Point of order.
Yes.
We're supposed to be discussing the duties associated with these positions. So I think, there's the elections for these positions further down on the agenda. And so,
Said nominate and elect.
well.
Okay, go right ahead. Go ahead and talk about the responsibilities.
So for the vice chairperson would be just to assist the chair in their duties and help fill in the pukas Because as it's been stated, there's a lot to be done here, and that's going to be taking a lot of time to get that done. So that's basically what the normal expectations of a vice chair in any other position, I think, is what we should be looking at for this secretary. And so,
can we do? Okay,
go ahead with vice chair.
Thank you. Okay, so again, I looked up. I just looked up to see what the state said. Okay, vice chair supports the chairman leading meetings, setting agenda, and ensuring smooth operations. In the absence of the chair may preside over meetings and make decisions. The vice chair collaborates with other commissioners, providing input, and the vice chairman represents the commission's decisions and positions to the public and government, and may lead or participate in working groups.
Thank you very much. Okay, so our responsibilities look like they are going to be to back up the chair for the things that we discussed for the chair, along with collaboration with commission members and represent the commission to our legislators and other people of the community.
Madam Chair, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If we have something like written down that's kind of like what that is, can we submit that in toto? Is Aaron, I don't know if that's allowed.
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
The question is, so because I Googled some of these chairs for the state of Hawaii, and basically they're very, very close to what Michael's sharing, but just it's written down. Can we go ahead and for purposes of the motion, just include, can I give her this document as well? As something?
Oh yeah, you can, if you're just going to read from, if she takes the time to read from it.
I did, yeah.
As well. Okay, no,
Yeah,
fine.
Okay, cool.
Okay, awesome, thank you. All right, so let's have a motion to accept these responsibilities for the vice chair.
I move that we accept the responsibilities for the vice chair as delineated by Commissioner Rick.
Thank you, Shanda. And do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Kat. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those who are not in favor say nay. Any abstentions? All right, it is passed with a unanimous vote. All right, let's move on to secretary. Discussion.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go right ahead, Rick.
The secretary for the commission is responsible for overseeing secretarial and clerical functions as provided by support staff and can include administrative tasks.
Okay, I would imagine they'd be working with the secretary that will end up happening to make sure that, okay.
Hopefully we get one quick, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so may I have a motion to accept these responsibilities?
Commission?
Yes.
Just, you might want to include the preparation of the minutes for the meeting with the secretary position or the chair position. I kind of missed that. It kind of went quickly for me. But I would recommend that you designate someone to draft the minutes for your meetings.
Okay. Draft minutes. So that won't be the second.
I would like to amend the motion to go ahead and include that, including preparation of minutes and agendas.
Okay, may I have a second?
I think that we said that the agenda was on the chair's list.
Yeah.
Yes. So that comes off that. So it's the agenda is the chair's responsibility, not the secretary's.
Okay, we'll take it off that. Preparation of minutes.
Yeah, preparation of minutes.
Thank you.
So may I have a second to you motion? May I have a second?
Sure.
Thank you, Joe. And all of those in favor say aye.
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 Those who are against say nay. Any abstentions? It passes with a unanimous vote. All right. Now we have financial director, I believe. Yes, finance director. All right, discussion. Rick?
Thank you. When I looked that up, it did look like it was a little more expansive, a little more extensive than we might want to be, but I'll read what they had. Primary duties are ensuring transparency, compliance, and effective financial management within the State Commission. This includes reviewing records of expenditures, budget preparation, receipt of accounting information, and prepare with the finance staff for any audits. avoiding conflicts, and not entering any financial transaction with anyone. See the state ethics training. Oh, I'm sorry, and request purchases on behalf of the commission.
Anyone else have discussion points? Okay, so we have transactions, compliance with our money, records, budgets, receipts, accounting, audits, avoiding conflicts of interest, and requesting finance.
And I can give this after that.
Yeah, we can take that, okay. Do I have a motion to accept these?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Rocco. All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those against say nay. Any abstentions? All right, we've got a unanimous vote on this as well. Okay.
So for number 5, I think we've covered everything there and in the responsibilities in 4.
Yeah, so for the secretary, okay. This would be the responsibility of the person we're hiring, correct?
Not all those things, no. Not all those things would fall into the secretary's
Okay.
responsibility.
Okay.
The secretary cannot set the agenda.
Yeah.
But we already said that we
Right.
already spoused them out to
Okay,
parse them out
perfect.
into the other positions.
Okay, so we need to vote on positions for commission governance. So let's start with secretary.
If I may,
Yes.
I want to make sure that we're clear on regarding the secretary's responsibilities. I think here, the meeting agenda preparation, when we say preparation, I think of that as, this doesn't sound like it's, okay. I think of that as actually creating this document as the agenda, not necessarily setting the agenda.
Right.
Setting the agenda is the chair's responsibility, and the secretary is going to make the paperwork happen, right?
Yes.
I would
Okay.
agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good point.
All right, any nominations for secretary?
Anybody?
Actually, let's start with vice chair. I apologize, I wasn't reading my notes. Let's start with a nomination for vice chair.
I nominate Michael.
Michael? Okay, any more? No other nominations? All right, let's take this. May I have a motion to accept Michael's nomination?
I move to accept.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Joe. May I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Rick. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those not in favor say nay. Any abstentions? Wonderful. Michael is our new vice chair. Congratulations, Michael. All right, secretary. What nominations do we have for secretary?
I'd nominate Sandy.
Ooh, I do not have the time.
That's honest.
Oh. Any other nominations?
I'll nominate Rick.
Rick, wonderful.
Okay.
All right. Any other nominations? Anyone? All right. May I have a motion to accept Rick's nomination?
Motion to accept.
Thank you, Shanda. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joe. And all those in favor of accepting Rick as our secretary, say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Any abstentions? All right, it's unanimous except for Rick. No.
I think he voted against
He
himself.
did, he did.
No, I was clearing
It
my
doesn't
throat.
count.
Okay.
It doesn't count.
I was clearing my throat. I'm sorry.
Oh, so for the record, it is a unanimous. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay, for finance director, who do we have nominated for this?
Well, let's see. We have to look around.
Can I nominate Philip?
Yes, you may. All right, Philip.
Wait, I can't add.
You can't add?
No, can I decline, please?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
I'll nominate Joe.
I'm also really bad at math with my worst subject, so I have to decline on that one.
I'll nominate Shanda.
But thank you.
Shanda?
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
All right, Shanda, may I have a motion to accept do I have any other nominations before I make that assumption? Okay. May I have a motion to accept Shanda's as our finance director?
Yes.
Thank you, both Philip and Joe. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rick. And all those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? All right, unanimous. Congratulations to our chair, Kathleen O'Dell, our vice chair, Michael, our secretary, Rick, our director of finance, Shanda. All right, we actually have a working team now. This is wonderful. Okay, so we've taken care of that. Okay, next thing we need to do is discuss meeting locations. All right, so these are going to be once a month, correct? Okay, so we're going to be once a month. Where do we want to have these meetings? We do have the option to move forward with Olelo. Obviously, it would be a pay situation for that. What other locations have we located?
Question?
Yes.
Can you tell us what if you're aware of what the estimated price
I
projection?
do not have that.
Okay. I think that we would almost need to know that, I think.
Yeah.
So I would, on this subject, I would think that we should look at using a state office.
Okay.
A state location. We find out what's available. Once we pick our dates, we can ask to see what's available because that is free, quote unquote, to us. The taxpayers are already paying for that. We only have $20,000 for us to expend that above and beyond flying in our commissioners. I don't think is a judicious use of our funds. While I love Olelo, not to speak ill of Olelo, this is that we need to be able to do more. We need to get more bang with our buck, and we're going to have some things coming up to be able to get our word out that we should be using those funds there instead of for our meetings when we have access to free technology, the free meeting space.
So with the free meeting space, do we need to hire a tech person?
No, we would just use Zoom, and it would be something that we would have to, because they almost, Jeff, are you still on?
Yes.
Can I intervene?
Okay.
So
Kristen.
Department of Human Services, we do have conference rooms there, and our two commissions, Commission on Status of Women and Commission on Fatherhood, do come to our conference rooms that we can help reserve for you folks. And then also have like a presentation like this where you will see whoever is online and they will be able to see you as well.
Okay, so we'd have the tech all covered.
Yes,
'Cause
but then
I'm
the only thing
not.
is it has to be during working hours.
Yeah.
Can you tell me where that is located, please, Kristen?
So it's at the Queen Liliuokalani building across from Queen's Hospital.
Across from Queen, okay. In the health department.
Okay, so we've got
Is there
state
parking there?
office. Any other? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
For the parking, we do have a garage, the Miller Street garage, but it's very scarce for public parking.
Okay. All right, so we have state offices, DOH offices. Have there been other locations found?
And Kristen, just to you said that's only accessible during business hours, right? So we're talking
Yes.
Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 kind of a
Yes.
situation. Okay.
Should we
And the
ask?
state offices are the same, right?
What was that?
The state offices are also
Yes, they're all.
bankers'
Yeah,
hours?
yeah.
Okay.
And since one of looking at our duties as required by the statute is that we're supposed to be lowering barriers between us and the state government, is getting people more comfortable, getting our community actually coming out to these meetings, getting more comfortable coming to the state buildings. So, yeah.
Okay, so I have a suggestion. I'm wondering if we should look at dates and times first.
That might be a good idea.
And then once we kind of determine, because we're looking now, thank you for this, because now we know we are looking to have something that ends before 4. We also have to be mindful of our Kauai, Maui, and Big Island people who have to fly in and fly out the same day. And also fight rush hour back to the airport. That would be junk. So,
Do we have to confirm a permanent location? Can we try some of these other?
Well, that's the
can
thing.
we do
We
one
don't
and
have
one
to
and
have
then
one.
see?
We could try out.
Yeah,
You know
just see
We
what
could
works
set up,
better
like-
for us.
Yeah, we could set the next meeting at 1, the next meeting at
Yeah.
the next. I just wanted to make sure that there weren't other locations that people had found that might be appropriate for us before we talk about these two. Sorry. I'm,
And
like,
before we talk a
freezing.
little bit more about that, if I may. Oh, you're so cold. I don't know if it's an option for us to plan whether we want to or whether either Philip or Joe would like this, but I think that we should at least consider, should we have 1 or 2 meetings not on Oahu?
That has been floated in some of
love
the
the
other
idea.
meetings.
I don't know
Yeah.
where to do that though, so I can't help with that.
Yeah, I think that there is a commission, they told me, that did, I don't know which commission it was, but does rotate, including like a once a quarter meeting at one of the other islands or something.
And we could do something like send one of our committee people, chair, vice chair, secretary, or
Whoever
finance
wanted to
director,
go.
each, send
Yeah.
one to each of
Yeah,
the outer
yeah.
island meetings. when they
Right,
come
people
around.
would have to.
So we have that rep,
And-
that in-person time.
Well, I think there's a benefit to letting the people on those islands attend in person if they wanted to.
Yeah.
There's a question?
Yes, Philip.
So I'd like to weigh in on that just a little bit. So thank you, Rick, for acknowledging that, sometimes it's not always going to be easy for us to get there. And while I do like, it's just my 2 cents, while I do like the idea of, having everybody here for a meeting, so it saves me from having to go over there, it almost seems impractical to me. And then somehow the arranging of that, I probably would be the one to figure out where it would be and the technology and all that kind of stuff. So, and also the expense. So we're talking, 7 people flying here as opposed to, I guess, 3, Joe, Rocco, me. It doesn't, I appreciate the graciousness, but my 2 cents is kind of doesn't seem practical. But if you all want to come over here, that's fine too.
Well said.
I'm just not sure it makes a lot of sense, but that's just how I feel.
Joe and Rocco, do you feel the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as flying back and forth and transportation, renting a car or a hotel, that all comes into play as well as the time of day.
Yes.
But I will say I can always, coordinate if we were going to do that. I definitely can do that, but.
Okay, you wouldn't mind taking on that responsibility?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's
So,
an option. Okay.
okay. So we have the possibility of going, having at Hawaiʻi Island as one of our venues, so that's
Kona.
good.
Kona.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hawaiʻi Island, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I just didn't
I've
want to
always
go
thought
to
it was there.
I know, I was thinking of Hilo. I keep wanting to go.
Okay, good.
I want to go to Hilo.
All right.
I love Hilo.
So with this, we would have one of those. So our next meeting, so let's look at dates.
Chair, there's some more testimony, I think, from the public.
Oh.
Can't see it.
Thaddeus.
Oh, Thaddeus. Go right ahead, Thaddeus.
Oh, I didn't see it either.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I was just going to add maybe something to consider as you're choosing a venue is just, I think someone already alluded to it, but just the tech capacity. So if there's already, like an in-room camera or some sort of tech support for Zoom or Teams, I think that'd be helpful to consider so that folks can easily join in remotely and virtually. And then maybe something for the commission consider is just accessibility. If it's in person, people with different accessibility needs and folks who might have different hearing needs as well. I know that's really helpful to have virtual meetings when you can have, closed caption, but just something to also consider as you're choosing a venue. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Thaddeus. That was something I was concerned about, was the tech issues with the other locations. As long as there's tech for us to be able to have someone hired to take care of that. Does anyone have any information on that particular, about the state offices or the DOH offices regarding tech, cameras, things like this?
Well, we already know DHS is already set up. So when we ask for a meeting space, I think that's something we put into the request.
So the DHS,
And they,
okay. So they do have the capability, perfect. All right.
They'll set it up, but will someone be there to make it work?
That's what I was asking about the tech person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank
As
you.
long as in business working hours.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kristen. So that takes a lot off of our plate and concern. State offices, I'm guessing, wouldn't have the same setup as the DHS? Or would they?
DHS is the state office.
Oh,
Yeah.
my apology. I thought that y'all were saying it was 2 different ones. All right, so DHS
and if we do want to
it
take
is.
this show on the road, we can always reach out to our friends at UH.
That's true. That's true.
I would be happy to look into it. I can reach out to the office of the president to ask.
Oh, that would be
He's
good to
good
have it
with
on
IT.
have a meeting on campus. Yeah.
But
Okay.
for now, we just stick with sticking with state offices.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Now let's talk about dates before we. What?
Oh, that fell off.
Oh, Jeff. Yes, go right ahead.
Hi, thank you. I just wanted to respond. The DHS has a conference room on the second floor of the building, and I have not had a problem with the parking. You can buy parking passes from DHS with your funds. The room has audio-visual equipment. They provide it. You will need to learn to set it up. We're on our own with that, but they do have the equipment. And you also need to reach out to DHS and make the reservation for the room as well ahead of time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay. Well, let's look at the time of month we're going to do each month. So first Tuesdays, second Thursdays, what are we looking at?
First week of the month is always good for me.
First week of the month?
Mhm.
Like first full week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywhere in that.
Okay.
Easier.
I cannot do Wednesdays because I have
my open day.
I have a series I'm doing with KHON, and so I can't do Wednesdays.
I teach on campus 12 to 3 on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
What are Mondays like for everybody?
Mondays are usually pretty open.
I'm
No.
occasionally in the
Mondays are good.
afternoon.
Gotcha.
Oh, did you say good? It's okay, Shanda?
Yes.
Monday?
Mondays are good.
Mondays.
Afternoon.
Monday afternoons I could make work.
So 2 to 4?
Let's look.
So 2 to 4, first Monday of every month.
Well, let's check with Joe and
Joe and
Phil.
Philip, what do y'all think?
First Mondays?
That works for me so far on a Monday.
First Monday? First
Malia?
Monday. Well, did Philip say he could do it?
I'm pretty flexible. That sounds good. There may be a particular one that I can't, but that sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Our ex-officios, does that work for y'all?
That works.
First Monday? And
First Mondays
did
of
somebody
each
say
month?
2 to 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 to
later.
4.
Does that work? 2 to 4
Does not work from 1:30 to 4 for me.
on Monday?
Okay.
Oh, every
Every
other
other-
Monday? Well, no,
oh.
we're only doing it one Monday a month. We could arrange for it to be,
It would be like the second Monday?
So
Well-
you can do the second Monday of every month?
The
well,
second.
because he says it alternates every.
Okay.
So if
Well,
we,
it starts, it's the first and third Mondays,
first
Okay.
and
And
third
I'm, on
Monday.
the
Oh,
second
oh,
Monday, I can
okay.
do from 2:30. I have a meeting.
So
on second Mondays
2:30
till
to
2.
4:30.
Yeah.
That's still before the 5 p.m. cutoff, so that still works.
So what would you guys like to do if the Monday has a holiday?
Oh,
I
yeah. Good
don't
point.
know, I didn't think about
good
that.
point.
Would you guys like to follow up on the following week?
That would probably work.
Yeah,
if
we'd have to,
Mondays
but then that would put
generally-
us in Cameron's
So
third
Mondays, if it's a
Mondays.
state holiday or federal holiday.
Or if you guys want to, we can discuss it at the prior meeting while looking at the calendar.
Yeah,
and find a
yeah.
time.
Okay.
Table it, right?
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
idea. So what we can do for now is do second Mondays.
Second Monday work for you, Rocco?
Yeah.
Is that, yeah.
Yeah, because
I-
first Monday we're already looking at Labor
Commissioners,
Day.
can I just remind you that you don't have to like pick today and vote on it today. You can check in with each other. The chair can check in with all of you to pick the date and the time as you
Okay.
get, as time goes on. But I
Okay.
think what it sounds like in general, today you're just having a discussion
Yeah.
about what times could be working for
I
you
know
guys.
for me, I
That's my
have an
understanding.
incredibly hectic and busy schedule, so knowing that day that I can rely on every month to mark out really will help me.
So second Mondays.
For now, yeah.
Yeah.
So can we look at second Monday
Yeah.
of each month from
From
2 to
2:30 to
4?
4:30.
and
2:30 to 4:30.
From, I'm sorry?
2:30 to 4:30.
2:30 to 4:30? Okay, 2:30 to 4:30. And right now, can we request Commissioner Kristen, if you could, or Malia? I'm not sure who checks and sees on availability of that room.
For the 12th?
The second Monday,
That'd be the
August
August 12th.
August 12th, right?
So I will check and then I can follow back up with you folks if the conference room is open.
And I would recommend for the first one, if we can start at 1:30 so we can fight with the tech.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
So we
'cause-
can, okay, and 1:30 for
So
tech
come in at
prep.
1:30, start
If
at
whoever
2:30. That
can
gives
for
us an
tech.
hour to deal with the tech. Okay.
And the
Thank
tech, just a question about tech. You said that it's there, but we need a person. Is that something we need a budget for or find a volunteer?
So I
or?
can be there since I have to be at the meetings.
Okay,
I
so
will
you
help
can take care of
folks
it.
Set up the
Set
tech
up-
and
Okay.
have
Thank
our
you.
IT come in as well to make sure everything is okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you guys want, you guys could also bring laptops or phone or
Mm-hmm.
anything, because we do have a projector that would project everybody's who's online like this, like
Oh.
like the TV. Or you guys can just rely on the owl and it just kind of rotates to whoever's talking in the room.
Okay.
So, okay, so our next meeting, then it looks like is already going to be in August. So should we plan on August 12th? But we haven't heard the location yet till we know if it's available.
Yes.
Right.
All right, so we have at least for September, the second Monday, from 2:30 to 4:30. May I have a motion to accept this?
August, you mean?
No, you mean
I meant
August 12th?
August, did I say
August
September?
12th, yeah.
Yeah.
Apologies, I meant,
Commissioners,
Yes.
you
Go
don't
ahead.
have to vote on this.
oh, okay.
Because I suggest maybe you don't, because if you vote on it, then it has to happen. But it's actually something that, you could discuss in general and then shoot for, and then the chair can finally do set the actual meeting date and time as part of their duties.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was reading the second line below that saying vote. Okay, perfect. So if we can just discuss, that makes it a lot easier. Okay, so we're looking at the second Monday of August, which is going to be, pull up my calendar.
August 12th.
That is going to be the 12th. So August 12th from 2:30 to 4:30 at DHS.
If available, okay. Thank you.
And then hopefully by that
Commissioner-
point, we will have a better understanding of the date that we'll be doing. Malia, yes.
Phil.
Phil, yes.
Philip, please. I will be in Europe then. So what is the sort of protocol for, I realize not every person is going to be able to come to every single meeting. So I'm not asking to be rescheduled, but I guess I'm either informing you or throwing it out there for what do we do when we have something that prevents us from being there.
So you just need a quorum, and you guys have, of your 8 voting members, so that would be 5. So as long as 5 people can attend, then you can go on with your meeting as you put in the agenda. If someone ends up not being able to attend and you don't have quorum, then there are other things you can do, but you won't be able to carry out all of your board business.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. Okay, we have that
Jeff has
discussion
something he
taken
wants
care
to
of.
say too.
No, wait, there's
Jeff
one
has
more.
a hand up.
Go ahead.
Before we
Jeff?
move on. Yes.
Oh, is that the CE up there? Jeff, go right ahead.
My apologies for being unfamiliar with the app. I did not mean to have my hand still up.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, so we're moving on to number
Next
10.
is discuss and vote the commission's participation in the hiring of the Civil Service Secretary to position, including questions for the interview and participating in the hiring panel. Okay. So we need to discuss the hiring of the secretary. First of all, before we begin the discussion, who wants to be on the hiring panel? Rick? Anyone else?
Oh,
Michael?
yeah.
Rick, Michael, anyone else? Okay, so Rick
Yeah,
and Michael, Philip or Joe, either of you? Nope, okay. All right, so we have Rick and Michael.
Commissioners, I'm sorry. Your agenda item was to designate a commissioner. It wasn't plural, it was just one.
Oh, we
to
can
be
only
on
have
the panel.
one. Okay.
Yes, just that's what your agenda said. And at this point, I suggest you just move forward with that. Because if you're going to have more than one, then you're going to have to form a permitted interaction group. And that's not on the agenda. So we'd have to go through a whole bunch of other motions. And Lily and I would probably have to discuss separately whether you could even do that and change your agenda at this point.
Okay, well, let's choose one. Rick or Michael? Which one does it mean most to?
If I'm going to be the secretary, I probably should figure out who it is.
Okay.
Are you going to have availability to be able to meet with the, are you going to have flexibility in your schedule to be able to?
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I can work that out. Yeah, thank you.
Is that good with you, Michael?
That's fine.
Okay. All right, may I have a motion to accept Rick as our representative on the hiring committee for the secretary?
So moved.
Thank you, Rocco. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Shanda. Everyone in favor say aye.
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 Anyone who opposes say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, unanimous vote for Rick to represent us for the hiring of the secretary. Now, we need to discuss that, more details. Yes.
I have a motion for that. For the first question that we need to ask, and DHERD will cover all their ability to do the job. We need to know how comfortable they are with our community. So the motion I have is, what is your comfortability level with the LGBTQ plus community?
Love that, thank you.
I have a question before we could, just as part of the discussion.
Can I get a second to my motion?
Can I?
Yeah, one second.
Oh, can I?
Wait. Okay, so we have a motion to accept this. May I have a second?
No, I did not motion to accept.
Oh, I thought so.
I wanted to say, if we say their comfort and their experience with the community.
Sure, yeah.
Comfort and experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love that, okay.
But can I ask a question regarding the motion, though?
Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm not, this might be a Malia or an Aaron question. I don't know what things we're allowed to ask as a state applicant. Is that something, as long as it's clear to them, is this some, or Kristen might know. I don't know if you guys, so
I just want to note on your agenda, you had discussion and vote on whether to approve Department of Human Services Human Resources position description as your, I think that's your first thing. And then the second was to discussion and vote on procedures for conducting interviews and making offers for the secretary position. Am I?
It
did I have
says
the-
discussion,
No.
vote the questions.
Discussion and vote on the questions to include as part of the interview panel's questions.
So that's what we're doing right
That's
now.
what we're doing, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong place.
Can we hear from the DHERD representative? I'm sorry, I forgot your name already. Forgive me.
I'm Signe.
Hi, Signe. So, are you?
Well, the question was, is there any caveat that we need to bear in mind when with regards to a question that asks somebody about their comfort level and experience with LGBTQ people?
So typically, and kind of the standard advice we generally give departments when they're thinking about interview questions is to stick to experience and, anything about experience relating to the job. And so if one of the qualifications will be, prior experience working with the LGBTQ community, definitely that's fine to ask. As for the comfortability, I want to say that I've given the subject matter that the person will be working with, there is clearly a relationship to the qualifications for the job, but I would suggest possibly drafting the question more as an ability or skill than a feeling, are you comfortable? So more like, to describe their skills, describe their abilities, working with the community. Does that make sense? I'm not sure.
It does. Well, the experience question sounds like it would lend itself to that, but I want to get to, Michael brought up a very good point, but it is trying, that was my concern. How are we going to gauge a person's comfort, feeling, something that's hard to quantify? And so I know what you're saying, I think, and I like it. I want that to be a piece of it. I like the experience question. Camaron, have you dealt with,
Yeah, I was going to bring up, I usually gauge someone's comfort through their experience.
Yeah.
So I ask the question on comfort because I cannot ask, are you LGBTQ plus?
Right.
Do you like LGBTQ plus people?
Yeah. Right.
Violation. So instead I asked them to please share your record in working with and experience in working with LGBTQ plus populations.
I love that.
What are the key issues that face our populations? How would you address those?
Okay, perfect. So we'll use the language
Can you repeat that?
experience.
I'm gonna write it down. Share your record with and experience.
Yeah, and what are the key issues that face our populations, and how would you address those in your capacity?
I have concerns with using that here. We're already going to have a hard time filling this position because it went through internal recruitment, did not get anybody to apply. We've now gone to an external recruitment at the Secretary 2 position. When you look at what it makes per month, I don't want to them addressing it. That's our job. Our job is to address the concerns of the thing. They're there to make sure that at least 50% of their job is just to be able to interact with us, and so we can move forward. They're not there to to find the solutions. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. And
Find
to
the solutions
follow
for these
up on
things.
my answer, I usually ask those questions, so then when I get a response from someone who's applying for one of my positions, like, oh, I've never thought of that before, I've never met a gay person.
Yeah.
Then that's a strong indicator that the comfort and match is not strong.
Yeah, I think you'll know.
Yeah. All right,
Okay,
so.
Sandy, sorry, this is Thaddeus.
Yes, Thaddeus.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, and Signy, please see if this, please tell me if this is allowable. But sometimes what we'll try to do is ask situational questions similar to what Camaron is saying, but more general. So sometimes we'll ask people, we work a lot with this particular community. Could you describe how you would make someone feel comfortable? So it's more of a skills question and a situational question, but it doesn't require any particular, like certification or experience or high-level knowledge. So if that's appropriate, that's something that we do.
Absolutely. I think that's perfect, because then you're gauging the skills and you're presenting a hypothetical as to, how would you handle this? Can you even describe to me what you would say? How would you conduct yourself? Anything relevant like that.
Okay.
But it goes to their skills and abilities.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Thad, would you mind putting that in the chat so we have it for the record? And then I'll make a motion to accept what Thaddeus said as our question.
That's a good question.
Because we do delegation.
I do think that we have
I move to accept Thaddeus's question. I don't know if I could do that.
All right, who makes a motion to accept Thaddeus's question? Thank you, Michael. Second is Rick. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who are not in favor say nay. Any abstentions? All right, it is unanimous. We are accepting.
Oh, wait, just one more thing. It's unanimous for that, but I had some other questions, and I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to go through those.
Oh.
Okay, so what's the next one?
Okay, but I don't know if these are going to be already covered, and I don't know how I would find that out. I don't know if Krista knows or somebody, or if Sid would know, Sydney. Okay, so these were things that I just talked with some coworkers about this. So these were the ones that we had to take recently that seemed like they would be applicable. Please give me an example of a time when you had to work with multiple competing priorities and timelines. How did you decide what to work on first, and how did you manage the workload? The second one they said was, please tell me about a time when you had to demonstrate flexibility and respond to a fluid work environment. The third one was, please share your experience working with people from a wide variety of backgrounds who had different educational levels, cultural backgrounds, and communication styles. And now we're getting too many questions. But those were three other ones that we had, but I don't know if these kinds of questions are already, because they're everybody seemed to remember them.
I was going to say, do we have a copy of the questions that will be asked that we would be adding to? Do we know what they are, so that we're not redundant?
If you guys would like the questions that our HR department is provided, we can give you guys that as well. But do remember that the interview panel is going to be with Commission on Fatherhood as well.
Right.
So that's why I think that's what we need to focus on. Your last question, I think, actually would help with that.
Yeah,
but the other
diverse
two,
communication.
I think we're going to leave that to DHERD to take care of, because they're the ones that set this. DHERD or your human HR person that will set the basic standards to meet the criteria of the job.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The only reason I put those in was because I kind of felt sorry for this person. This person's going to be working for two separate commissions, each of which will be trying to say, here's some work when we need it now. You know, and I'm saying, so just to make sure that they understand that, but probably you would have covered that already, I
We can
imagine.
double check and see what's on the questions and get back to you folks.
Okay. Okay, so then I'd like to make a motion to only add the question, please share your experience working with people from a wide variety of backgrounds who had different educational levels, cultural backgrounds, and communication styles.
All right, may I have a motion to accept that?
Seconded. He moved. I
Oh, you,
seconded.
he motioned his own thing? All right, second from Michael. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Does anybody have any?
No, they have questions.
Yes, Joe.
No.
I think they're voting.
Oh, okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those not in favor, say nay. Anyone abstaining? All right, we have a unanimous decision on that question as well.
And Thad's question.
All right, any other questions we would like to add to the formula? All right, so now we need to discuss and vote.
Okay, can I go ahead and make another comment, please?
Yes, go right ahead, Rick.
Looking at the clock.
Commissioner Rick.
Okay. One of the things that I would like to go ahead, if I may speak about this, and Aaron will tell me if I'm not allowed to say this, but I was very, very grateful to receive the 2-page document that Commissioner Michael did for us on the constitutional amendment. This is, I can tell you, this is better than anything I've seen thus far on this issue. Thank you very much. And I think it's a very important issue, and I think given the calendar, we're 90 days from the election, I think, right? I think people can start voting as early as mid-October. So I'm wondering if is it allowable to move something from back a little further in the agenda up to, so I'm trying to see where it is. Yeah, so this would be under commission action items in number 4, number 2. So instead of going straight to the Zoom and the Gmails and the travel budget, if we could make sure that we include that, if we could move it.
Instead of taking up the time there, I
Are
think
you asking if you can move to change the order of the agenda?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
I think that if we move to these other things really quickly, we'll get to that. So
Yeah, because we don't have much to get there.
There's just, and they've already been. I gave you all the documentation for the other stuff right there.
However,
we're not setting budgets or anything. It's just giving ideas, and that we'd send that to the finance director. So,
well, but I guess this is the thing is I had several questions on some of these other items. So for me, it's not as cut and dried, but maybe it is for other people.
Okay.
But I have lots of questions on some of these next few items.
All right, well, let's run through them. Okay.
So okay.
So we are going to discuss and vote on the establishment of Gmail accounts for the LGBTQ plus commission. All right, discuss.
Given the fact that I'd move that we establish a Gmail account for the LGBTQ plus commission, and yeah.
And that can be
I have a
something that
question.
is overseen by the hired secretary as well as the
Well,
commission secretary?
It would be the chair that would have the
chair,
access.
okay.
With the chair having the primary access, and then.
Okay.
Well, I had a question.
Yes, Rick.
So my question on this issue then is, when I looked at the other, so I've been reading about from the other state commissions, and they seem to have state emails. Okay, they have state email boxes. I don't know if Jeff is still on, but that was one of them. The Commission on Women has one. A number of the and I'm saying, why would we get our own if we can get a free one from state that's an official state one? Is there a reason? I just don't know what the reasoning is why we wouldn't use it.
Can you answer
Why
that?
we would
So
use
a
a
state email is paid for.
Right.
So Commission on Fatherhood does have their own email.
Gmail account.
Yeah, Gmail or Yahoo.
Yeah, they have a Gmail account.
But
They
the
don't-
secretary, who's going to be a state employee, will have a state email.
Okay, so the emails that you look at, when you look on the commission pages and they say, if you wish to discuss this, if you have questions, contact, and those state emails that are listed, those are not commissioners, those are?
I'm not too sure about, no. So I know for if somebody
If I may?
tests. Yeah.
Yeah. So like with the Commission on the Father, they have a Gmail account that Jeff has access to. He would not have access, none of us would have access to a state email address.
Oh, we
So that's the reason, so if I may, that's the reason I brought this forward, is having it as a thing, is that we would actually have control and have direct access to the emails Otherwise, we have to wait on, right now, Malia is the only one that has access to the LGBT, the one that was created for tonight's meeting. This would give us full access so we can respond in real time versus waiting on staff members to do that. So that is the reason creating this, and being able to do that. And then, because we still don't know how long it's going to take to hire that secretary.
Right.
So I had to get things rolling.
Okay. I guess, so the question is then, so we no longer would have to go through any kind of state review, or there wouldn't be a firewall between the state and the commission to do, somebody would be writing us directly, and one of us would be responsible for doing all that. And I just wanted to, I don't know that we had made that clear, that this is another duty as assigned.
Well, I think it is.
But that's why the vice chair's there to back up the chair, as well as, because we need to be able to contact our community. Our community needs to be able to contact us without having, no offense to the state workers, bureaucracy standing in between us and the community we're representing. And so, yeah.
And it does, with her being front-facing to the community, that's part of her responsibility. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Not to talk about you in third person.
All good. But no, in the Gmail account, I can give access to our secretary.
Yes.
I would have the power to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to get a Gmail account.
That we create a Gmail account.
Thank you, Shanda. So may I have a second? Thank you, Michael. All those in favor for us to have our Gmail account, say aye.
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 All those who are not in favor, say nay. Any abstentions? Wonderful. We have another unanimous vote. I like working with y'all. All right. Next, discuss and vote on whether to obtain a Zoom account using the LGBTQ+ Commission Gmail account. I'm in favor of that. May I have a motion?
I think we need it.
Yes.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, I second.
Thank you, Michael. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those who are not in favor say no. Nay, excuse me. And any abstentions? Wonderful, another unanimous vote. Love it. Okay, discuss and vote on whether to authorize a YouTube channel for the LGBTQ+ Commission. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a good way to archive. It's a great way for people to access our videos and possibly get answers to their questions or raise questions themselves, or maybe even find out things that we need to be talking about that we're not talking about. Anyone else?
Just who would manage that? Because I'm not skilled in YouTube channels.
Yeah, so YouTube would need to be secretary or vice chair?
Yep.
Is that
it's easy. I do it for free for another organization.
Perfect. Okay, so Michael, we're gonna give that to you.
I had a question. So if we have this, there was mention made that, so when it says complement the minutes, does that mean that we don't have to do minutes anymore?
Oh, no, we have to have minutes.
You still have to have a paper document according to the Sunshine, and Lily, if you correct me if I'm wrong on this, is that you could use your agenda, and then you start, and you can put in there the time each of the different sections start in the video, so they don't have to watch the entire video, but you still have to record the votes that were, the motion needs to be put into for your minutes, and the outcome of the vote on that motion. Still need to be in the paper minutes, but this will complement it, so it makes it a lot easier.
You don't have to describe any of this.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This is Erin.
Wait, Erin's there.
Hi. You can do different kinds of minutes. You can do written minutes where it's kind of like a summary of everything that happened, or you can do recorded minutes where I think was kind of what you're alluding to, where you do note all the different times where different things happened. It's up to you how you guys would like to proceed.
Yeah, I was looking at the Fatherhood Commission, and their minutes are the videos, like you're talking about with the...
And Michael, I know that you said you know how to do that, but are you willing to do that this time?
For now.
Okay.
For now. Okay, good.
Until we get a secretary.
Sure.
And then I'll be more than happy to train that secretary.
Perfect. All right. May I have a motion to have a YouTube channel?
I move, and I'd like to go ahead. I'd like to
Okay,
make
wait. Okay. 1 second. Okay, we'll take your motions, but Rick, what were you going to say?
I was going to amplify by saying we I move that we have a YouTube channel, and Michael will show us how to do it.
Okay.
We'll include that because
All
I don't
right,
know how to do it.
so we have Rick and Rocco.
I'm not training everybody. I'm not Geek Squad.
All right, we have a motion from Rick and Rocco. We have a second from Michael. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yeah,
All
'cause I
those
don't-
who are not in favor say nay. Any abstentions? Perfect, another unanimous vote, well done. All right, discussion of preliminary 2024-2025 budget, travel for inter-island travel, Zoom account, et cetera,
And the purpose of the times that we should just direct anything that we'd like to see put into the preliminary budget to the finance director.
Yes.
In our neighbor island delegate, our commissioner, sorry. Letting them know how often you plan on traveling so we can at least a budget for that. Like, if there's a pride you want us to be at, if it's going to cost us to be there, like the Triple HRC thing that's happening in January, if we want to co-sponsor that and send those things, and at least put up to so that the finance director could come to us with, maybe not August, but be able to add to that so we can at least keep track of what we do and what we're looking to do to help get the best bang out of our buck.
That's good. So what we should do is have the items that we would like to put in concrete for our next meeting along with the money that it will take to do that.
Yep.
Or at least an estimate.
Yeah.
At the minimum. Yes, Rick, Commissioner Rick.
And just one other proviso, I think, is maybe to put in that for the July and August meeting, we agree that, we can agree today that we're going to be covering expenses of any off-neighbor island commissioner, that travel expenses for these two.
Joe has his hand.
Oh, Joe, go right ahead.
Yes, I'm just about ready to bring that up because there's already a problem, it seems like, with my arrangements that I made to travel there, and I had gotten my boarding pass and receipts, and which I was told ahead of time to make sure I had that, and I got it, and then I was going to give it to Malia the day that we did our swearing in, and she said to hang on to it. And I hung on to it, and then I got I think it was an email from Kirsten to send it in, which again I sent it in, and now it doesn't seem like I'm going to get reimbursed for that. So there've got to be a little more clearer instructions when we do make our reservations, et cetera, because it doesn't seem like I'm going to be getting my reimbursements.
So if we set a budget, will we need to reimburse if we already have the money for it?
So with traveling, there is procurement policies that we have to obtain to. So with traveling, we can't deviate. So pretty much the state will cover and reimburse anything that's related to the commission business. So like for tonight, because it's an extended piece of time and it's kind of hard to get on maybe a last flight, we can do like a hotel accommodation and stuff like that, but it's kind of like you have to be on the next flight out and at the cheapest price we can get. So we kind of don't pay for the extra accommodations or anything of that sort. If not, it will come out of your own pockets. So, because there's no way for us to also explain why there was a deviation in the travel when the day of the meeting and you came in maybe 2 days before or left another day after. It's kind of hard for us to explain why you.
Now, I came in the evening beforehand so I could be there early that morning. So I caught a later flight in the day before to make sure I would get there early enough to be there for the ceremony.
Okay. Can I go ahead though, and with regards to the motion that I was making? So do we have to approve that the budget be used for current travel? For example, Rocco's trip today, next August for the next meeting, whoever's coming. Can we go ahead and make that? Do we have to do that? Maybe Aaron can tell me. Do we have to do that now in order to?
You only have on your agenda. You don't have anything listed for vote.
No.
You just have discussion.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But it's written into the statute that the funds that are there. So I encourage everybody to read the statute that created us. That it's actually written into the statute that our funds that are there to be able to reimburse in the expedition of our duties as part of that. So I don't think that needs a motion, and we can't do the motion anyways since it's not part of the agenda. So, but it's already written into the statute.
The reimbursement will be coming out of the your folks' budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
I can
it's-
also send the procurement, what we kind of follow
That would
on
be
the
helpful.
traveling, so it's a little bit more clear for everybody as well.
Yeah, thank you.
No,
Okay. Yeah, so
Okay.
again, even though it is reimbursement, we still need to know our budget. So make sure you have, if you're coming from an outer island, make sure you figure out how many. I would imagine that by next meeting, we will have decided which meetings we'll have off island, maybe on Hawaii Island, and we can start working on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
So, another question?
Yes, Rick.
How will we get okay, so, and this is also a Malia or Aaron question, I think. How are we allowed to communicate as follow-ups to this meeting? For example, giving suggestions to Shanda, I think we can do that. But if we had to discuss something like budget plans or or like whoever I was sharing minutes, if I make notes today, I would be giving that to Kat. But are we allowed, I don't know exactly how, I know that there are regulations regarding our interactions outside of a scheduled, posted meeting. Are we allowed to share information strictly about the meeting, okay, without any kind of a concern?
Yeah, your question is quite broad, and I've counseled several commissions, so it's hard for me to answer without getting specific situations. But if you want to just hand her your notes from the meeting, or the secretary, that your notes from the meeting for purposes of just them being able to draft the minutes, I think that would be fine. The chair will reach out to every one of you regarding administrative purposes, such as, if there is an idea to put on the agenda, but I'm not quite sure what kind of situation you're thinking of.
No, just, you got it. As long as I can hand her and say, if I go write something up and hand it to Kat, then I would say that would be fine. Or if I have an idea for the budget and send a note to Shanda, then as long as that's fine, then I think we're covered.
Yeah, and as long as you guys don't do a prolonged email exchange, it will probably be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. All right, that has been discussed. We're moving on to commission action items, and we have a moment for community shares and concerns. Public testimony from anyone, you have 2 minutes. Anyone who would like to speak?
Okay.
Okay, I don't see anyone. So we're going to move on to endorse the constitutional amendment established by HB 2802 SLH 2024, which would remove Section 23 from Article 1 in the Hawaii State Constitution. We need to vote on this.
I so move that we...
Go right ahead, Michael.
I so move that we endorse the constitutional, it's what's now known as constitutional, yes on one for constitutional amendment that'll appear on the general election ballot this November.
All right, may I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Kat. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who are not in favor say nay. Any abstentions? Excellent, a unanimous vote. Moving on to strategic planning. Community shares and concerns. We have time for testimony of 2 minutes per person. Do I have anyone who would like to speak from the community? Okay, I don't see anyone. Well, moving on to the next item. Discussion on meeting the statutory duties of the LGBTQ Commission. And that is 369-5. You may discuss.
Well, one of the things that we're supposed to be doing is making sure everybody knows how to vote and that they're supposed to be voting. That's one of the things that's actually written into the statute. And so as we sit here today, the voter service centers are open. So those of you in Team Land, so Zoom Land, reminder that you make sure you get your ballots in. Right now we're looking at historically low ballots already that have been turned in. So I think that's something that we all need to do in our official capacities and our non-official capacities, making sure that members of our community are educated about who to vote for or how to vote, and that they get out there and vote, and where these people stand in our community when it comes to supporting us, as well as just getting to the ballot box. And then again, as we move forward for November, that we need to put together some type of campaign. So now that we've endorsed Yes on One, to make sure that we meet that statutory requirement. There's a lot here in the 8 different items, and since we are way over time, but with the understanding that we did start late, I'm not going to go read through it all. I just encourage that. That's why it's hot linked into everybody's agenda. That everybody read through that, and that we come back ready to discuss at a future meeting what areas that people want to focus on within your own areas that you guys that everybody wants to deal with. We talked about earlier, and how that fits into 1 through 8 on 369-5.
Perfect. All right, so for the next meeting, if you will, each commissioner have some kind of inkling as to what you want to do for this upcoming election. Okay? All right, moving on to, are you leaving?
I'm sorry, I need to leave.
Okay, Commissioner Rick, you are excused. Okay. Our next item is discussion of potential committees or permitted interaction groups for the LGBTQ+ Commission, and vote on those committees or permitted interaction groups. All right, let's discuss potential interaction groups and or committees. Who would like to begin? Yes.
I would just like to note for the commissioners that committees are kind of like mini commissions. So you would have to do, like the agenda, have public meetings, and be subject to all of those sunshine rules. Not that permitted action groups are not subject to those rules, but it would be like mini commission meetings, basically, where you would have all of those public notices and everything.
Can I make a motion that we defer this to our next meeting because we are over time, and I think that this deserves real discussion?
Yeah. I agree with you. May I have a second?
I second.
Before we take the vote,
go right ahead.
I just want people to think about looking at it, doing the committees instead of the permanent action groups, because of the Sunshine Law, that we do things like a legislative committee, a communications committee, that when we set it up with like 3 commissioners on each one, so we're not at quorum, so we don't violate that, and that we look at it doing that. Permitted interaction groups, I'm not a big fan of, just personally working on them with other, because you're not doing everything in front, and we do need to lift the veil, and we need to be as transparent as possible, and also getting input from people when we're setting our legislative agenda, when we're setting, making sure people know that we exist. So that's just, I'd like everybody to think about, since we're in this space that we can talk about these things, is that that we look forward and everybody come together with the kind of committees and the areas that they would, the area that they would encompass.
Okay.
Like an education committee, or higher ed committee, or put them both together.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, because you're dealing with two different animals with DOE and UH.
That is an excellent recommendation. So if you will, each commissioner, please come back with, in our next meeting, the committees that we would like to create. I definitely agree with Michael when it comes to committees over permitted interaction groups. I would prefer us to be out front so we can be more transparent. So come back for our next meetings with your ideas on committees and which ones you would like to be on. Okay, so that we can talk about that in greater detail. Okay, let's move on to future meetings, topics. Oh, wait, do we need to vote on that? Yeah, we need to vote. All right, may I have a motion to table this? You made a motion. May I have a second?
Rocco seconded.
Rocco seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone who abstains, or anyone who says no, say nay. Any abstentions? Wonderful, another unanimous vote. Okay, moving on to future meeting topics or speakers, community shares or concerns. You have 2 minutes to speak for anyone from the community. Okay, moving on to the next item is chairperson to create the future agenda and speak member input on. All right.
The only thing that's not listed here that I'd just like to, is like inviting a representative from the Equality Caucus, either Representative Tam or Senator Lee. maybe not September, maybe October, the October meeting. Well, hopefully we've already set our legislative priorities by then
Okay.
to be able to talk to them about our legislative priorities when they start looking at setting theirs. And also inviting the governor.
Good idea.
And if anybody else if you hear anything, let Kat know about like there's a teen group out there doing sex ed work, and it's inclusive, and I'm making sure that this is something that having them do a presentation here in front of us helps get the word out about what they're doing. So things like that. And then if you have any ideas, just let the chair know.
Excellent. All right. Thank you very much, Commissioner Michael. All right, let's move on to community shares and concerns, time permitting. We don't really have time. Oh, I see a hand. Thaddeus.
Yeah, just in terms of inviting people, I would also have the commission consider inviting people from our Native Hawaiian health organizations or Native Hawaiian Pacifica serving organizations, so like Papa'ola Lokahi and others, to ensure that those communities of people are also represented. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right. Any other additions?
Just a reminder that ballots are due by 7 p.m. on August 10th for your primary.
Nice. Yes, August 10th.
And if you're in line at 6:30, you get there as long as you're in line before 7 o'clock, they have to let you vote at the voting service centers.
Wonderful. Thank you, Commissioner Michael. Okay, so written and verbal testimony on items outside of this agenda may be included on a future agenda, but the commission will not discuss them at this meeting. And this meeting is being adjourned at 6:16 p.m. I hope everyone has a pleasant evening and a safe journey.
And if you make a motion
Thank you all for attending on Zoom.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, we have to make a move? Oh.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, thank you, Michael. May I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
All those who are not in favor say nay. Any abstentions? Thank you. Oh, we don't have to do that on our board meetings. I wasn't used to that. Okay. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your first meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.